Hare Krishna, invocation prayers, please.
Prabhu may.
Chandran Prabhu, go ahead.
Om Manya Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chaksurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manodishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutali Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Tadati Swapadantikam Vande Ham Sri Guru Sri Yutapata Kamalam Sri Guru Vaishnav Cha Sri Rupam Ja Sagarajam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tamsa Jivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Visagan Vitam Cha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpati Gopesa Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostude Tapta Kanjana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrisabhavam Sutadevi Pranamami Haripriye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhaya Ivacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavobhyo Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Bhagavate Vasudevaya Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you all for coming. Thank you all for adjusting to the new time. We also welcome back Dipanshu Prabhu. So this is perfect that initially the time was a conflict and therefore Dipanshu Prabhu could not join the classes. But as soon as Dipanshu Prabhu saw the message of the changed time, he immediately messaged that now he will join. So this is perfect. Thank you. Welcome. So today what we'll cover is, we will cover Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 17, the last part from verse 28 onwards. Plus we will also cover Canto 4, Chapter 18, the first part. Just a quick announcement that tomorrow, Sunday, October 5th, at Batch 5 Srimad Bhagavatam class, which is 9:30 a.m. Toronto time, the entire class is on inquiries. There are some 50 plus inquiries. One of the inquiry is how to read Srimad Bhagavatam purports. So I have actually studied much more than what we discuss here in our classes. So I request all of you to please consider to join tomorrow's Sunday, October 5th, Batch 5 class for this, which is 9:30 a.m. Toronto time, or at least try to listen to the recording. So the question will get covered towards the end. I'll go in sequence, and one of the question is, how do you when you read Srimad Bhagavatam purports, what exactly should be your focus? Everybody can try that, please.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes. All right. So let's begin with you all explaining one or more points and asking one or more questions from before, plus you have also had some spiritual endeavors.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Krishna.
I can try answering the first question, Prabhu. So the question was, what is the significance of Prithu Maharaj in accepting Sanat Kumara as the spiritual master? So as we have all learned and we've all read, there are 4 Vaishnava Sampradayas, or four systems of disciplic succession, out of which one is from Sanat Kumara. So Prithu Maharaj has illustrated that if one is serious about receiving the transcendental Vedic knowledge, one must accept a spiritual master in any four of these discipline succession, any four of these disciplines. And by his example, he is showed by his example, one should receive the the initiation from the bona fide sampradaya only, Prabhu. Hare
Okay,
Krishna.
very good. What else was in there for this question?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. One more thing, like in the material world or the spirit in the material world concept, when we are doing devotional service, if a devotee is just bothered about just his own purification and not having, I don't know if this is the correct answer here, Prabhu.
Well, so finish. What's your point?
Okay, I just wanted to say that you have to have the devotee has to have compassion for the other the fellow devotees also. Only then he is even a better devotee than just a devotee who's focused on his own purification, Prabhu.
Yeah,
Not
so
Krishna
yeah, so there are gradations that some devotee is focused on himself. Yes, he's a devotee. Yes, he is on the path. But better is when you try to serve in Krishna's mission to get everybody back on track or back home, back to Godhead. Okay, what else was there in this question about initiation? We might have discussed it in different places as well.
Prabhuji, the arrangements about the government. Can I try for this?
Arrangement of?
How the government can arrange for the eating of flesh.
Okay.
That was the third question we proposed.
Yeah, first go back to the first question about the official sampradaya. What is something more to this question?
Prabhuji, may I share?
Yeah.
So
Go ahead,
it is
By accepting Sanat Kumara as his spiritual master, King Prithu demonstrated the principle that one who is serious about receiving transcendental Vedic knowledge, that even the most powerful king requires guidance from a guru or a spiritual master, lest the mantras will not act in Kali Yuga. The highlights humility, the importance of disciplic succession, and the supremacy of spiritual knowledge over material power. Sanat Kumara instructed King Prithu on devotional service, establishing dharma and devotion as the true foundation of kingmanship. Therefore, Maharaja Prithu accepted Sanat Kumara as his spiritual master. This is my submission.
Yeah, very good about the mantra, that the mantra will be effective only when you get the mantra from a bona fide spiritual master in the bona fide sampradaya. Very good.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. The other aspect is there are many sampradayas who have emerged who are outside of these four sampradayas with no authority. We have to be careful of what sampradaya, what we follow, and it has to be purely meeting the disciplic succession and falling within these four sampradayas.
Yeah, very good. So how do you ensure the sampradaya is bona fide? What's the example we discussed?
Prabhu, it has to come from these four. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. It has to come from these four.
Yeah,
disciplic succession.
Disciplic succession.
So you are correct, these four, but what makes these four sampradayas official and what makes the other sampradayas or other so-called sampradayas as not official? What's the point we discussed?
They all start from Lord Krishna.
Yeah, Lord Krishna.
Yeah, very good. So these four sampradayas are connected all the way to Krishna. The other sampradayas or whatever other paths that are there in the material world, they will also say that when you go and say, I follow my guru follows my guru. And they will say, well, we also do the same, that I follow my guru follows his guru. But that guru to guru to guru connection stops at some point, and it is not connected all the way to Krishna. Therefore, the other paths cannot give you the full benefit of going back home, back to Godhead.
It should
Very
be
good.
down to up, no, Prabhu.
So when you say down top as in what? So there are two paths that you can follow. One is the top down approach and one is bottom up approach. So what point are you referring to here?
Is it bottom to up?
So if you try to follow the bottom to up process, that is going to be very difficult to advance because we have not seen, at least I have not seen spirituality. So we follow the top down approach that everything comes from Krishna and we just keep following what Krishna and the previous acharyas have given us rather than we creating something by ourselves.
Okay. Got it, Prabhu. Thank you.
So this inductive and deductive methods are described in Ch18 V1. You can read Ch18 V1, should be in the preface or introduction, and refresh your memory or from your notes on this point.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Okay, what else? All right, we did discuss a lot of points.
Second point. Yeah.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, if nobody else is saying, the second question was, why was Prithu Maharaj threatening to kill cow-shaped earth? So, you know what I have tried to answer this is, Prabhu, the earth, since the earth was not producing sufficient food grains, earth was not being compassionate among the fellow men and not interested in others' welfare. So the earth was very much puffed up with pride, Prabhu.
All right. What else?
The other aspect we learned from this question is that pride comes in the way of spiritual advancement. One should not, pride and ego comes in between one's advancement in spirituality.
Okay, very good.
Prabhuji, may I share now what I have realized this?
Yeah.
Why Prithu Maharaj threatens to kill the cow? Prithu Maharaj felt that cow-shaped earth, sinful activity. One, disobeyed his order. Two, she took her share of sacrifices but not producing sufficient food grains in return. He observed that the citizens were suffering from lack of food and prosperity, and he understood that Mother Earth withheld her resources. Out of duty as a king, he became angry and threatened to punish her. His intention was not cruelty to a cow, but to protect welfare of his subject by ensuring that Mother Earth fulfilled her role of providing necessities. That is my submission, Prabhu.
All right, very good.
You want the third one? If nobody does, I will tell.
Yeah, go ahead, Uncle.
Question 3. Under what circumstances can the government arrange to eat the flesh? Scriptures explain that flesh eating is generally discouraged. But in rare circumstances, when there is no supply of grain, the government may regulate the eating of meat under strict rules and not just to satisfy the fastidious tongue. King Prithu taught that government must ensure the citizens' welfare without encouraging unnecessary violence. This consumption of flesh is to be controlled and only permitted in dire necessity, not for indulgence. This is my submission.
Yeah, very good that you don't need slaughterhouses for day-to-day consumption of meat. It's a real once in a time, rare circumstance that it is so dire that there is nothing left, nothing available, that in that real extreme circumstances, once a time you can do it. But again, devotees will obviously have a challenge. So there's a question posted in the chat about the Sampradaya. So are there examples of genuine devotees who don't take formal initiation, such as Haridas Thakur? So Haridas Thakur definitely was initiated by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself. So he was Nam Acharya, right? He was given Nam Acharya that he would chant so much. So Haridas Thakur definitely is an initiated devotee. Mirabai, there isn't a lot of detail available, so I would not speculate about Mirabai. But why would you say Mirabai is a genuine devotee?
So sorry, Prabhuji, probably the wordings are not correct. I want to ask that like there are devotees who we understand as genuine, but they don't. It seems that they have not taken formal initiation in this four sampradaya. So, like, are there exceptions to this point?
There are no exceptions. So give me example. What are you saying? Who are those devotees who have not taken an initiation?
I as far as I understand, Mirabai was not part of any of these four sampradayas. But we may not have, like as you mentioned.
Yeah,
Then,
so my question about Mirabai is, why do you think Mirabai is a genuine devotee?
uh, wh-
Right, so somebody
wh-
who's serious. So Haridas Thakur definitely, like Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu recognized him. So Haridas Thakur doesn't fall. Mirabai there isn't a lot of detail about her in the scripture, so we would not speculate. There's no need to speculate. So
okay. So, sorry. I'm so sorry. So your point was that we don't know whether she was a genuine devotee. I didn't understand this point earlier. Is
so
this
yeah, I
is
mean
what you meant?
she did something towards Krishna, but that on itself, like one time act, yeah, Krishna accepted whatever service she was giving. But then it goes beyond that. Who is an actual, genuine, pure devotee?
So is it like genuine? So like how do we then know? Like just because someone is in a sampradaya doesn't make them a genuine devotee. It should be seen by their characteristics, right? Uh,
Characteristics, yes. Um, uh, but still, it depends on what exactly is their intent. So Mirabai, from what I briefly know, is that she was more focused on her own satisfaction rather than Krishna's satisfaction.
okay. Okay. The other extension of this question is uh, which may like we see there are many saints in Vrindavan and we know that many of them are Mayavadis, but still there are so many saints. So I'm not sure if all of them are coming in one of the genuine sampradayas, but like how should we see them?
Yeah, Vrindavan, be very careful. It's because all these pseudo spiritualists, they know Vrindavan is a special place for devotees, and it's easier to trick somebody. So just because somebody is in Vrindavan and having a sannyasi dress, that on itself does not make them a genuine devotee. In Vrindavan becomes really challenging because you have a mix that some are real genuine devotees and others are taking up the garb of sannyas dress and trying to trick. So it's not a black and white answer I can give you. You have to judge for each one individually that what exactly is their intent. Are they there to serve Krishna, or are they there to trick someone for their own self. Abhishek Prabhu?
And that intent is not dependent on which sampradaya you belong to, right?
So the 4 sampradayas, devotees will have the same intent
No,
of
I mean,
serving
people
Krishna.
outside the sampradaya may also cultivate that intent.
It's very difficult to sustain, right? If you have the intent to serve Krishna, then why will you not join the sampradaya? Why will you stay separate? Right? So the intent is
Hmm.
not pure. If somebody has the intent to serve Krishna, but then also does not want to join the sampradaya, then you question the intent, that what exactly is your intent?
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Yes. Brother, I have one more question on this Earth and Prithu Maharaj incident.
Yeah.
Like, Earth has a demigod, and also, like, because she's like, aren't demigods above in a hierarchy? They are above the kings of Earth.
Not necessarily.
So,
Not necessarily. We have read in Canto 3, should be 3.9.12 or 3.12.9, one of the verse, that demigods are Sakam devotees. They are very low on the yoga ladder, right? So your point that demigods are higher, it's not correct. Devotees,
no,
bhaktas are higher.
I'm asking in a management, like when we see this as a universal management.
Yeah, management, yes, demigods have management rights. But that management ability does not make them higher on the yoga ladder.
So, like, I'm just like, I just want to understand that can a king of Earth, it will be under his jurisdiction to punish a demigod for not doing their duties, because this is what is happening in, like,
So
in this case.
Prithu Maharaj is special, right? You cannot compare
Yes.
Prithu
Yes.
Maharaj with some other kings, right? Prithu Maharaj, we'll discuss this in today's discussion, where Prithu Maharaj will say, I am Supreme Personality of Godhead, I have the right to kill you. He will actually say that. So you cannot take Prithu Maharaj's example as a king and replicate that for other kings. Right? Prithu Maharaj is an incarnation of Krishna. He is not the same as a Yudhishthir. Yudhishthir is representative of Lord, while Prithu Maharaj is incarnation of God.
Okay, this is what I wanted to understand, probably. Thank you. Probably, one last thing, like, I see that there are so many chapters on Prithu Maharaj uh, 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 history. So is there some, like, some, like, I'm not sure what is the overall significance of his discussion in Bhagavatam, because there are so many chapters. So can you clarify something on that?
Yeah, so these chapters are essentially this conversation is one conversation. The chapters are only divided for some milestone divisions. So including chapter 17 is straightforward, and what I will discuss today about chapter 18. Chapter 18 is also straightforward. It's just describing in different chapters for specific milestones. So why all these chapters are described about Prithu Maharaj is because Vidura asked this question. So if you go back to the questions that Vidura asked at the start of chapter 17, so he's asking about the activities of Prithu Maharaj, and that's what Maitreya Muni is narrating. Of course, there is learning from each chapter. For example, chapter 17 we briefly discussed and we'll discuss today, which is verse number 36, is the crux of chapter 17 in Canto 4, that Lord's activities are bewildering. And how do we understand Lord's activities? We'll discuss that today in verse number 36. Similarly, each chapter, there is of course some learning because it's Lord's activities. So significance of these chapters is that why Maitreya Muni describing is because Vidura asked. And of course, from each of these chapters, there is definitely learning for all of us. In the previous chapter, if you recall, the example set by Prithu Maharaj was that don't praise me. I am not yet demonstrating the qualities of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Right? And Prabhupada in one of the purport explains that the way to know Supreme Lord is by the characteristics, not that somebody says, I am God. So I'm only giving you a few examples that there are learnings in each chapter. Of course, in chapter 17, we also had the learning of taking initiation in the under bona fide sampradaya. That also is a learning, right? Abhishek Prabhu?
Yes, Pradeep, thank you, sir. I was
Prabhu, a
confused
small
because
clarification, may I seek?
Hold on, uncle. Abhishek Prabhu, go ahead.
so I think I just got confused because like earlier chapters on Daksha story was like there was a theme of devotion in mode of uh, like passion, I think, and then like something, then Dhruv Maharaj similarly devotion in mode of, and that it like this canto was coming in that line. So
Yeah, you are
yeah,
correct.
I just got.
So Daksha is devotion in the mood of ignorance. Dhruv Maharaj is devotion in the mood of passion. And Prithu Maharaj is devotion in the mode of goodness. So you are absolutely correct. What we have discussed in Canto 3, Chapter 29, verse 8, 9, 10. The Canto 4 is laid out exactly. Prithu Maharaj is devotion in the mode of goodness.
Like how does we take him as a devotee, but is it like pure uh, uh, this mode of goodness for Prithu Maharaj when he is Supreme Personality of Godhead? It like it. I find this little difficult.
So we discussed that Prithu Maharaj is not yet demonstrating or not yet manifesting the qualities of Supreme Lord. Right now, he is acting as a pious king. In later chapters, he will show that his qualities of the Supreme Lord. Then he will transcend from goodness to pure goodness. So far, he has not demonstrated those qualities. Therefore, it is in the mode of goodness. Abhishek Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu. Yeah, this was very good. Thank you.
Uncle. Uncle, unmute.
This disciplic succession came in force because there were no scriptures developed in those days. Is it true?
That is not correct. Scriptures have always existed. Krishna has explained in 4.2 Bhagavad Gita that the chain of disciplic succession got broken. And to re-establish that connection, therefore Krishna reappeared and explained the devotional path again. So scriptures have always existed, just the connection got broken. Uncle?
Got it, Prabhuji.
Anybody has memorized Bhagavad Gita 4.2? Evam parampara praptam.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah.
4.2 Bhagavad Gita. Evam parampara praptam imam rajayashyo vidu sakalena mata yoga nashta parantapaha.
Yeah, sakalena mahata yoga nasti parantapa. That because of the influence of time, the chain of disciplic succession appears to be broken. Very good recitation. All right. So, Sridhar Prabhu,
Hare Krishna, bro. Just to add on the 9 processes of bhakti, who has mastered it? So for Shravanam, it is Parikshit Maharaj. For Kirtanam, it is Sukadev Maharaj. And for Smaranam, it is Prahlad Maharaj. Padasevanam, it is Lakshman, Lord Lakshman. Archanam, it is Prithu Maharaj. Vandanam, it is Akrura. Tasyam is Hanuman. Sakyam is Arjuna. Atmanivedanam is Bali Chakravarti. Bali. Maharaj Bali. Hare Krishna. Just wanted to.
yeah, very good. Yeah, very good. Thank you for sharing. All right, let's discuss Canto 4, Chapter 17 from verse 28 onwards. The verses that we'll cover are pretty straightforward verses. So this is part 5, verses 28 to 36. Title is The Earth Offers Prayers to Pacify Prithu Maharaj. So the crux of Canto 4, Chapter 17 is in the last verse 36, that Lord's contradictory activities are bewildering. I shouldn't say contradictory, but their activities sometimes go one way versus others. So they are bewildering. We'll discuss an example to understand this. So Earth could not understand. And therefore she's saying, I'm bewildered. Simultaneously, Earth also understands that Prithu Maharaj is empowered incarnation of Supreme Lord. And in order to pacify Prithu Maharaj's anger, Earth starts offering prayers. Shivangi, 28, 29 translations, chapter 17.
Hare Krishna, text 28, translation. At this time, Prithu Maharaja became exactly like Yamaraja, and his whole body appeared very angry. In other words, he was anger personified. After hearing him, the planet Earth began to tremble. She surrendered and, with folded hands, began to speak as follows. 29 translation. Planet Earth spoke, My dear Lord, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, you are transcendental in your position, and by your material energy you have expanded yourself in various forms and species of life through the interaction of the 3 modes of material nature. Unlike some other masters, you always remain in your transcendental position and are not affected by the material creation, which is subject to different material interactions. Consequently, you are not bewildered by material activities. Hare Krishna.
Now, upon hearing this prayer, Prithu Maharaj may say that if Earth's words are correct, that means I have no attachment to you. Therefore, I can kill you. Because Earth is saying you are Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, in the next prayer, Earth will say that you, my Lord, are my only shelter. You have created living beings. You are maintaining and protecting the living beings. Mother Jija, 30-31 translation.
Verse 30, translation. The planet Earth continued, My dear Lord, you are the complete conductor of the material creation. You have created this cosmic manifestation and the 3 material qualities, and therefore you have created me, the planet Earth, the resting place of all living entities. Yet you are always fully independent, my Lord. Now that you are present before me and ready to kill me with your weapons, let me know where I should go to take shelter and tell me who can give me protection. Text 31. In the beginning of creation, you created all these moving and non-moving living entities by your inconceivable energy. Through this very same energy, you are now prepared to protect the living entities. Indeed, you are the supreme protector of the religious principles. Why are you so anxious to kill me, even though I am in the form of a cow? Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Right, so Earth is saying, you are my only shelter. Why are you wanting to kill me? Now, to this prayer, Prithu Maharaj may say are you saying I am irreligious? And Earth will respond, no, you are not irreligious, but your activities are bewildering. And that's the whole point about the discussion leading up to verse number 36. So 32, 33 are straightforward. Shalini?
Hare Krishna. Text 32. My dear Lord, although you are one, by your inconceivable potencies, you have expanded yourself in many forms. Through the agency of Brahma, you have created this universe. You are therefore directly the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Those who are not sufficiently experienced cannot understand your transcendental activities because these persons are covered by your illusory energy. Text 33. My dear Lord, by your potencies, you are the original cause of all material elements, as well as the performing instruments, the senses, the workers of the senses, the controlling demigods, the intelligence and the ego, as well as everything else. By your energy, you manifest this entire cosmic creation, maintain it, and dissolve it. Through your energy alone, everything is sometimes manifest and sometimes not manifest. You are therefore the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the cause of all causes. I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Hare Krishna.
So Earth is offering the prayers. Now verse number 34, 35 is continuation and is on Dhara Dhara. So Dhara is another name for Earth, and Dhara Dhara refers to how Varahadev picked up Earth from the bottom of the ocean. That point is referring to that. Earth is saying, you protected me. Why are you now trying to kill me? And Earth is arguing that the living entities are like children on my lap. And I, means Earth, nourish them with milk. But because seeing the evil ways of the living entities, I have therefore stopped supplying milk so as to rectify these living entities. But you are trying to punish me for this. Well, it is very bewildering. So that's what Earth is saying. This is kind of bewildering. How do I understand this? And we'll understand in verse number 36 very soon. Dipanshu Prabhu, 34, 35 translations plus purport.
Hare Krishna. Text 34. My dear Lord, you are always unborn. Once in the form of the original board, you rescued me from the waters in the bottom of the universe. Through your own energy, you created all the physical elements, the senses, and the heart for the maintenance of the world. Purport. This refers to the time when Lord Krishna appeared as the supreme boar Vara and rescued the earth which had been merged in water. The Asura Hiranyaksh had dislocated the earth from its orbit and thrown it beneath the waters of the Garbhoda ocean. Then the Lord, in the shape of the original boar, rescued the earth. Text 35. My dear Lord, in this way you once protected me by rescuing me from the water, and consequently your name has been famous as Dharadhar, he who holds the planet Earth. Yet at the present moment, in the form of a great hero, you are about to kill me with sharpened arrows. I am, however, just like a boat on the water, keeping everything afloat. Purport. The Lord is known as Dharadhar, means he who keeps the planet Earth on his tusk as the boar incarnation. Thus, the planet Earth in the shape of a cow is accounting the contradictory acts of the Lord. Although he once saved the Earth, he now wants to upset the Earth, which is like a boat on water. No one can understand the activities of the Lord. Due to a poor fund of knowledge, human beings sometimes think the Lord's activities contradictory. Hare Krishna.
Shivangi has a question.
Prabhuji, I was just confused. Why is the earth saying that the living entities were misbehaving? I'm just wondering, is this like the same situation like when she complained to Brahmaji before Krishna took his birth, and is it that same kind of situation?
So
She was
right
saying,
now, yeah, it will come up in the next chapter at the very start, chapter 18, where Earth will point out about Vena's atrocity. So right now, the current situation is about Vena.
okay,
That Vena was so atrocious against religious people that that the sacrifices were not being done. And Earth will give reasons that why she stopped producing everything and why she hid all the herbs. She will explain very soon in the upcoming verses in chapter 18 that there was a religion all around and Earth protected all the herbs so that in future Prithu Maharaj will come and restart the sacrifice. But I have briefly explained. Shivangi.
okay, Prabhuji, thank you.
All right, very good. So here's the crux of chapter 17 in verse number 36 that Earth has already laid the foundation for all this. And she goes, I am bewildered by your activities. And Prabhupada explains, how do you understand the seemingly contradictory activities of the Lord? Gopal Prabhu, 36 translation purport faster pace.
Hare Krishna. 36 translation. My dear Lord, I am also the creation of one of your energies, composed of the three modes of material nature. Consequently, I am bewildered by your activities. Even the activities of your devotees cannot be understood, and to what to speak of your pastimes. Thus, everything appears to us to be contradictory and wonderful. Purport. The activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his various forms and the incarnations are always uncommon and wonderful. It is not possible for a tiny human being to estimate the purpose and plans of such activities. Therefore, Srila Jiva Goswami has said that unless the Lord's activities are accepted as inconceivable, they cannot be explained. The Lord is eternally existing as Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, in Golaka Vrindavana. He has also simultaneously expanded himself in innumerable forms, beginning with Lord Rama, Lord Narsimha, Lord Varaha, and all other incarnations coming directly from Sankarsana. Sankarsana is the expansion of Baladev, and Baladeva is the first manifestation of Lord Krishna. Therefore, all these incarnations are known as Kala. The word Ishwaranam refers to all the personalities of Godhead. As stated in Brahma Samhita 5.39, Ramadi Mirtsu Kala Nyamena Tistan. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is confirmed that all the incarnations are partial expansions or Kala of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. However, Krishna is the original Supreme Personality of Godhead. One should not take the plural number of the word Ishwaram to mean that there are many Godheads. The fact is that God is one, but he exists eternally and expands himself in innumerable forms and acts in various ways. Sometimes the common man is bewildered by all this and considers such activities contradictory, but they are not contradictory. There is a great plan behind all the Lord's activities. For our understanding, it is sometimes said that the Lord is situated in the heart of the thief as well as in the heart of the householder, but the super soul in the heart of the thief dictates, go and steal things from that particular house. And at the same time, the Lord tells the householder, now be careful of thieves and burglars. These instructions to different persons appear contradictory, yet we should know that the super soul, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, has some plan, and we should not consider such activities contradictory. The best course is to surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead wholeheartedly, and being protected by him, remain peaceful. Hare Krishna.
So the activities of Supreme Lord are always uncommon and wonderful. And Prabhupada gives a perfect example that to the thief, the super soul gives guidance to go and steal. And simultaneously to the householder, the same super soul gives guidance to protect. Arey Baba, how do you understand this? So these are uncommon and wonderful. What we have to do is, Prabhupada explains towards the very end, we read that the best course is to surrender wholeheartedly and remain protected by the Lord. Understand that Lord has a plan. No, not everybody can understand Lord's plan. We have discussed this in Canto 1, Chapter 9, where Bhishmadev also says the same point, that it's not easy to understand Lord's plan. Questions, comments, realizations? All right. Chapter 18 is also a pretty straightforward chapter. Chapter 18 is titled Prithu Maharaj Milks the Earth Planet, is divided into 3 parts. Part 1 is verses 1 to 11. The earth advises Prithu Maharaj on the method to milk her. Part 2, verses 12 to 28. Prithu Maharaj and others milk the earth. Part 3, establishment of planned cities by Prithu Maharaj. So seeing that Prithu Maharaj is still not satisfied, Earth explains the reason for hiding the seeds and the herbs meant for sacrifice, that, as I explained a few minutes ago earlier, that all these sacrifices were not being done or being done by religious people. Therefore, Earth wanted to protect these herbs and seeds for future, for Prithu Maharaj to do the sacrifice in future. Plus, Earth explains the method to milk the earth and to get everything. Mother Chandra Aunty, 18, 1 and 2 verse translations are straightforward. Most of the verses are straightforward.
Chapter 18, text 1. The great saint Maitreya continued to address Vidura. My dear Vidura, at that time, after the planet Earth finished her prayers, King Prithu was still not pacified, and his lips trembled in great anger. Although the planet Earth was frightened, she made up her mind and began to speak as follows in order to convince the king. Text 2. My dear Lord, please pacify your anger completely and hear patiently whatever I submit before you. Please turn your kind attention to this. I may be very poor, but a learned man takes the essence of knowledge from all places, just as a bumblebee collects honey from each and every flower.
Okay, straightforward. And now, Earth will explain the method by which one can attain prosperity. Uncle, verse 3, 4, 5 translations.
Hare Krishna. Text 3. To benefit all human society, not only in this life, but in the next, the great seers and sages have prescribed various methods conducive to the prosperity of the people in general. Text 4. One who follows the principles and instructions enjoined by the great sages of the past can utilize these instructions for practical purposes. Such a person can very easily enjoy life and pleasures. Text 5. A foolish person who manufactures his own ways and means through mental speculation and does not recognize the authority of the sages, who lay down impeccable directions, is simply unsuccessful again and again in his attempts. Hare Krishna.
Very good. So verse 5 purport describes the difference between liberated and conditioned souls. Abhishek Prabhu, verse 5 purport.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Is my voice clear?
Yeah, it's a little distorted, but okay, go ahead.
Purport. Text 5. At the present moment, it has become fashionable to disobey the impeachable directions by the acharyas.
Unimpeachable.
Sorry. At the present moment, it has become fashionable to disobey the unimpeachable directions given by the acharyas and liberated souls of the past. Presently, people are so fallen that they cannot distinguish between a liberated soul and a conditioned soul. A conditioned soul is hampered by 4 defects. He is sure to commit mistakes. He is sure to become illusioned. He has a tendency to cheat others. And his senses are imperfect. Consequently, we have to take direction from liberated persons. This Krishna consciousness movement directly receives instructions from the Supreme Personality of Godhead via persons who are strictly following his instructions. Although a follower may not be a liberated person, if he follows the Supreme Liberated Personality of Godhead, his actions are naturally liberated from the contamination of material nature. Lord Chaitanya therefore says, by my order you may become a spiritual master. One can immediately become a spiritual master by having full faith in the transcendental words of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and by following his instructions. Materialistic men are not interested in taking directions from a liberated person, but they are very much interested in their own concocted ideas, which make them repeatedly fail in their attempt. Because the entire world is now following the imperfect directions of conditioned souls, humanity is completely bewildered.
So conditioned soul, 4 defects we have discussed at the start of Bhagavad Gita. That is sure to commit mistakes, is illusion, tendency to cheat, and imperfect senses. Therefore, we have to take directions from liberated persons. So who are liberated? That those who get instructions directly from Supreme Lord via disciplic succession. That is Krishna consciousness. And Prabhupada says that although a follower may not be liberated person, if he simply follows the Supreme Liberated Personality of Godhead, his actions are naturally liberated from the contamination of material nature because he is not following his defective mentality. He's just following the instructions. And that's what Prabhupada says at the very start, that at the present moment it has become fashionable to disobey the directions of Acharya. And he ends by saying that therefore the humanity is bewildered because they are following directions of conditioned souls. Questions, comments, realizations?
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna, this point on like if you follow perfect authority, then our actions are correct. In, like we even if we are following if the authority is perfect, we are not perfect. Then how do you follow him perfectly? So and context.
Yeah, we have discussed this in Bhagavad Gita 7.1 that I have imperfect senses. So how come by hearing, 7.1 says that's true, that hearing, that how can by hearing the instructions of Krishna it become perfect is because the source is perfect. And we have discussed the example in Bhagavad Gita 7.1 that if I use a new equipment without a manual, I'm still using my senses, my hands and my senses, but without instructions, I may injure myself or destroy the new equipment. But once I use the equipment following the manual, I am still using my own hands, my own senses, but I'm following the instructions. That way I will be able to use the equipment properly. And the same applies that if you leave your mental concoction aside and you simply follow what Krishna has given, his instructions are infallible. They are the Krishna's instructions are infallible for everyone across all yugas. Not like the current government that as soon as the new government comes, the first thing they do is how to remove the policies of the previous government because they are all imperfect. Abhishek Prabhu, does that help you? Abhishek Prabhu? All right, we lost Abhishek Prabhu's voice somehow. So in the next verse, 6 and 7, Earth explains the reasons for hiding the seeds meant for sacrifice. That with Vena in mind, Earth is saying that Earth is unprotected because there were no sacrifice being performed. And secondly, Earth is not respected because of spread of irreligion. Plus, when Vena died, the place became filled with thieves. Therefore, Earth devoured all the herbs and grains within herself so as to protect the herbs and grains so that sacrifices may be started in future by Prithu Maharaj. Chandran Prabhu, 6, 7, 8 translations. We'll finish in few minutes.
Hare Krishna. Text 6. My dear king, the seeds, roots, herbs, and grains, which were created by Lord Brahma in the past, are now being used by non-devotees who are devoid of all spiritual understanding. Text 7. My dear king, not only are grains and herbs being used by non-devotees, but as far as I'm concerned, I'm not being properly maintained. Indeed, I'm being neglected by kings who are not punishing these rascals who have turned into thieves by using grains for sense gratification. Consequently, I have hidden all these seeds, which are meant for the performance of sacrifice. Text 8. Due to being stocked for a very long time, all the grain seeds within me have certainly deteriorated. Therefore, you should immediately arrange to take these seeds out by the standard process, which is recommended by the Acharyas or Shastras. Hare Krishna.
Right, so what I briefly described about Shivangi's question, so Earth gave the various reasons that why she hid the seeds and the herbs. And now Earth explains the method to milk the earth in the shape of a cow, as well as Earth asks Prithu Maharaj to level up the earth. Shivangi, verse 9, 10, 11, translation and purports, fast pace.
Hare Krishna. Text 9. O great hero, protector of living entities, if you desire to relieve the living entities by supplying them sufficient grain, and if you desire to nourish them by taking milk from me, you should make arrangements to bring a calf suitable for this purpose and a pot in which the milk can be kept, as well as a milkman to do the work. Since I will be very much affectionate towards my calf, your desire to take milk from me will be fulfilled. Perfect. These are nice instructions for milking a calf. The cow must first have a calf so that out of affection for the calf, she will voluntarily give sufficient milk. There must also be an expert milkman and a suitable pot in which to keep the milk. Just as the cow cannot deliver sufficient milk without being affectionate towards her calf, the earth cannot produce sufficient necessities without feeling affection for those who are Krishna conscious. Even though the earth's being in the shape of a cow may be may be taken figuratively. The meaning herein is very explicit. Just as a calf can derive milk from a cow, all living entities, including animals, birds, bees, reptiles, and aquatics, can receive their respective foods from the planet Earth, provided that human beings are not asat or adityavata, as we have previously discussed. When human society becomes asat or ungodly or devoid of Krishna consciousness, the entire world suffers. If human beings are well behaved, animals will also receive sufficient food and be happy. The ungodly human being, ignorant of the duty to give protection and food to the animals, kills them to compensate for the insufficient production of grains. Thus, no one is satisfied, and that is the cause for the present condition in today's world. Text 11. My dear King, may I inform you that you have to make the entire surface of the globe level. This will help me even when the rainy season has ceased. Rainfall comes by the mercy of King Indra. Rainfall will remain on the surface of the globe, always keeping the earth moistened, and thus it will be auspicious for all kinds of production. Perfect. King Indra of the heavenly planet is in charge of throwing thunderbolts and giving rain. Generally, thunderbolts are thrown on the tops of hills in order to break them to pieces. As these pieces spread asunder in due course of time, the surface of the globe gradually becomes fit for agriculture. Level land is especially conducive to the production of grain. Thus the planet Earth requested Maharaja Prithu to level the surface of the earth, breaking up the high land and mountains.
All right, so Earth explains how to milk and get everything that you want for the sacrifice. I'll give you spiritual endeavor questions, 2 questions. How should one understand the apparently contradictory acts of the Lord? Comes from 17.36. Second, explain the difference between condition and a liberated soul. Comes from 18.5. And for the next class, read Canto 4, rest of chapter 18 plus chapter 19. So we are on a shorter timeline now. We just went a few minutes over. Thank you for tolerating. So as I mentioned at the start, that tomorrow, Sunday, October 5th, batch 5 Srimad Bhagavatam class at 9:30 a.m. Toronto time is entirely on inquiries, which has 50 plus inquiries. And one of the inquiry is how to read Srimad Bhagavatam purports. So I request all of you to please try to join tomorrow's batch 5, 9:30 a.m. Toronto time class for this one particular question, or at least try to listen to the recording for this one particular question. Any questions, comments, realizations before we stop for the day? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Thank you.
Thank
Hare Krishna,
you.
Prabhu. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hare
Thanks so
Krishna,
much.
Prabhuji.
Thank you, everybody.